Hi everyone, Joy here. As you guys know, I have started this podcast to inspire entrepreneurs or people to want to become entrepreneurs. And today I have Mira. She is from Texas and she has this holistic view on life. But the best part is that she actually helps people to cut out the chemicals and the bad ingredients, the bad things in life. Hi Mira, how you doing?
Hey, Joy, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you. I love your background. You're so flowery, and it's just awesome to see the happiness, the bright colors. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
Can you tell people a little bit about you? Where did you grow up? Nothing entrepreneurial, but, what's your pastime, hobbies, things like that?
Sure. So I grew up in New England in a little state called Connecticut. And so I was very fortunate to grow up there. We have four seasons. It's a beautiful area. And then I did all my schooling there, including university. And then married my husband, who was in the service. We sort of traveled all over the country and managed to have three kids along the way. And through that time, as I was going through, I wound up getting ill, and I essentially had an immune system collapse. And in the process of learning how to regain my health, I discovered what I was meant to do when I grew up, and I became the ingredient guru. So that's sort of a nutshell of how I got to where I am.
That is awesome. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what the ingredient guru is all about?
Sure. So as the ingredient guru, I am very passionate about educating people from a health perspective on what's in and on what we eat. I believe that there is never a reason for there to be garbage in our food, and I know firsthand that many of the harmful chemicals that are added to our food can have a very negative impact on our health. And so from a business perspective, I support entrepreneurs and practitioners to learn how to clean some of the unhealthy things out of what they're doing so that they can have not only a healthy business, but a healthy life as well.
That sounds fabulous. I love it. We're all about natural living and, like all our ingredients and as much as you can, like, because we also don't like processed foods. We're all about whole foods and, nothing chemical product wise. So I really love the fact that you're actually helping people to do this. It's such a powerful thing because people don't realize what is in the stuff that they eat. That's the big thing.
Well, and one of the challenges I find with many entrepreneurs is they're so busy growing their passion and delving into what they're doing that they forget to take care of themselves. But if you don't take care of you, there's not going to be enough you to help other people.
That is very true. And I am guilty of that firsthand. I've been better. I've been making time to do the yogas and to do the things, but I was very guilty about that. I completely agree. Did you come from a family of entrepreneurs, or is this just something that's just, like you said, you just knew this is what you had to do?
So yes, my mother was very entrepreneurial. She is a garden writer and has written a number of books, lectured all over the world. And so that sort of was an example for me that it is possible to do that.
Mhm.
I was admittedly much older when I went from being an employee to being an entrepreneur and having my own business, but that example was definitely there.
That's awesome. I love these things. So tell me something. What is the very first business that you tried?
Oh, on my own?
Yes.
As an entrepreneur. So the very first business that I tried was I was working in the computer industry. And so I began to do computer consulting for other people.
Ooh,
And it was good. I enjoyed it. There were a lot of lessons there, not all of which I learned. And I wound up, my biggest client hiring me. And from there, I wound up getting sick. And so I left that job. And when I regained my health and came back online as an entrepreneur doing the health and wellness space, one of the things that I learned was there's a lot to being an entrepreneur. You can be very good at what you do, but you also have to learn the things to run a business to be effective. Otherwise, you'll burn out.
that is very true words. Yes, I completely agree on that one. So at the moment, what is it? So how do you have a course? How do you teach people about what you do or, how they can implement your things into their life?
Well, and it's so interesting that you should ask me that, because for about 12 years,
Mhm.
I supported consumers, helping them with their health. So I had a program, and I do still have books. As a matter of fact, I've written several books, but my first book was this one. It's called The Pantry Principle: How to Read the Label and Understand What's Really in Your Food.
Yes,
And so I built some programs around that, and I began to help other businesses because people would ask me questions.
Mhm.
And I realized at a certain point that if I helped more business people, more entrepreneurs, I could actually reach more people.
Mm.
And so now I do some one-on-one consulting, and I do have resources available for practitioners, especially in the health and wellness space, that they can use in their business. The one-on-one I do, you don't have to be a health and wellness person, but I primarily attract that because that's the industry I'm in.
That sounds awesome. Now, I've got a question for you relating to food before we get into more of the entrepreneurial questions. On a daily basis, what is like your thing that you will eat the most? Or what is like, from morning to night, what is your eating habit for the day?
Well, that's a very good question. And honestly, we should have a diverse and varied diet. So I do try to do that. As human beings, we like the same 20 foods, and we just want to eat those all the time. Um, the big thing that I try to remember is that as healthy adults, we should be eating about 5 to 7 cups of vegetables a day. And
Mm.
so I kind of keep a tally, and sometimes it's like, oh, I need a snack, or I need something to eat. How can I add veggies to that? Or I was a little light on the veggies yesterday. Can I add more veggies to breakfast? So that's my big go-to, is how many veggies have I had?
That's actually an awesome one. So, like, okay, I'm all for eating veggies. And now that it's summer and we're getting our fruits and veggies back, well, almost summer, I do green juices, like it's my thing.
Uh-huh.
Because out of season, it's extremely expensive in New Zealand to get
Oh,
those. And
yeah.
growing them is not that great, but my garden is flourishing again. So, yeah. But so would you do something like that as like a thing that you would go to? Is that like a healthy way to implement all these veggies into your daily life?
So I do like juicing. I think it can be very good. I tend to reserve juicing, meaning just the juice and not so much of the fiber,
Yeah.
for more detox times. And then the rest of the time, I'm really big into green smoothies or smoothie bowls, because then you're getting all of the fiber. It's just broken down.
Yeah.
When we don't have a lot of fiber, then we're frequently getting more sugar. And so it's a little bit easy to get too much sugar that way. We're also not supporting our gut, because we really do need the fiber from the whole produce.
Yes, that's very true. And I like that. I like that you said that. Something for me to note. Now, apart from money, what is your biggest driving factor for doing what you're doing?
I love helping people. And, for me, one of the things, for example, one of my clients that I'm working with right now, she wants to learn how to write more and better.
Mm.
And because I've invested so much money over the years in courses and programs and things like that, I have all of this information, and I do write a fair amount myself, but I love helping somebody else bring their voice into the world. Or if I speak on national stages all over the US. I am always looking for an international opportunity. I would love to do that at some point as well. But, helping people learn how to get to that level and start doing more than, speaking at church groups and ladies groups is great, but speaking on a bigger platform is even better, because then you're reaching more people and really sharing your message. Or I have another person that I work with who wanted to really streamline her business. And so we found a whole bunch of tools that she could use. And so just all of those education pieces to help make people's lives easier, so that they can have, as I said, a healthy business and a healthy life. Because if you're sitting there banging your head against the wall because you don't know about this particular tool or that particular strategy, that creates stress.
Oh, yeah.
And modern life is so stressful, we don't need any more stress.
That's so true. And as entrepreneurs, and you would know, you tend to want to do everything yourself and you don't want to get the who's that can help you. That was.
You know, that is such a great point. And as a matter of fact, when I sometimes have a talk that I give to aspiring entrepreneurs. And one of the things I tell them is, don't do everything yourself. Like, as soon as you can, there are certain things you need to hire. And the example that I give from my own business is my very first hire wound up being, and it was way too late, I should have hired her a long time ago, was a bookkeeper. And things that would take me 2 days and a lot of bad words and tears and frustration would take her 2 hours, and she loved it. And I'm like, okay, you're sick. Like, I don't get that. She's like, no, it's so easy. It's so fun. I'm like, I'm glad it makes you happy. Like, here you go. So that was great, and it saved me all that time and all that stress. And I was like, why didn't I do that before?
Yes, and that's so true, and that's also why entrepreneurs ended up working ridiculous hours. And I used to be one of those, because you just want to do everything yourself. So it's awesome that you're like helping people to see that side of it as well. Now, the struggling part is, as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of struggles that people face when they start out their journey. What was your biggest struggle when you started out with your journey?
Oh, that's easy. Giving everything away for free. I would. So I'm in the health and wellness space, and once people find that, they go, "Oh, can I ask you a question? Can I just pick your brain?" Or sometimes they didn't even have to ask. Like, we'd be somewhere, someone would say something, I'm like, "Oh, can I offer a suggestion?" 2 hours later, they've got a small mountain of notes. I have, exhausted myself helping them, and they sort of wander away, and it was non-productive time. And I'm not saying that you can't give away some of your information and you can't share, but when it goes beyond 5 or 10, I mean, let's be really honest. If you run into your dentist at the grocery store, do you go, "Oh, this tooth is hurting. Could you look at that for me?" They're not going to fix it in the grocery store. They're going to say, "Make an appointment." And so I had to learn to do that as well.
I love that. That's a good one. I have to remember that one. That's awesome. So, okay, now, what is your mission at the moment? What is that?
My mission, yes, my mission is to help support other practitioners and entrepreneurs so that they can grow and succeed, and together we can help millions of people.
Ooh, I like that. That is a fantastic mission. Look at you. You're really reaching for the skies. That's amazing. Okay, so how do you advertise your business then? How do you get it out there?
Sure. So like I said, I'm in the midst of a shift. So I'm currently revamping my website. Part of the way I advertise a lot of different ways. So obviously social media is a big one. I speak on stages, so a lot of people get to hear me throughout the year. That's a great way for me to promote. And then I do, some traditional advertising, my books and those sort of things help to market me as well. So it's actually a lot of different things. I don't have one strategy. I will say, for me, speaking tends to be the one that gets me the most business, because I'm up there on the stage sharing for 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on how long my slot is, about something, and then they want to work with me afterwards.
That's really, really cool. And it's publishing, really. That's, in a nutshell, that's what it is. You're publishing yourself out there to get business. Okay, so what is that one thing that you think, or that you feel, is that your contribution to success? So what is that one thing that makes you successful?
You know what? I guess for me, it would be at its very core, it's about having regained my health. I went through this period of time where I had doctors telling me that there was nothing wrong with me, that, they didn't really believe me, and they couldn't find anything wrong. So obviously there wasn't anything there. And it was a real struggle. It was really, really challenging and very defeating. And when I finally began to get to the point where I was able to make those changes to help regain my health, the better I got, the more evangelical I became, in a way. And the interesting thing for me is, over time, I also helped so many people who went through that same journey. And that just really fires me up, because there is never an excuse for people to feel horrible and for someone to say, "Oh, it's not real. Like, maybe you need to talk to somebody," like that. When I hear those words, or when I have people in front of me crying because nobody else has listened to their story, like, I want to help. And so for me, that is my big why, is I don't want anybody to go through what I went through, ever.
firsthand, you know how bad that sucks, and you don't want people to have that same thing. Yeah,
Exactly.
I completely understand that part. So, what is your next phase in your business? What is that next big thing that you plan to do?
Oh, well, I actually have a really big thing that I'm doing right now. I started a subscription box.
Ooh,
And
that's
so I
awesome.
don't know, do you have those in New Zealand? Yeah.
There's well, there is subscription boxes, but ingredients wise, nah.
Oh, okay. Well, so mine is called the Lean Clean Green Box. And as a matter of fact, I have a little card here about it. It just shares some information.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, uh, I can't ship outside the US and Canada at the moment,
Oh,
but but my box is, I personally curate everything that goes into that box. It
cool.
is all holistically healthy. It is all clean. I have
Yeah.
turned down products that did not meet my picky standards.
Hmm.
And so for years, people, and this is both consumers and practitioners, have wanted to know where to find healthy toothpaste, healthy this, healthy that, just a wide variety of products. And they're scattered all over the place. And so I have brought them all together into one place online where you can find everything.
That's
And
awesome.
yes, I'm so excited about that. So
That
that's
is
the next
really
evolution.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't wait to share that link with everybody that I know, because I actually have half of my Facebook is just about people from the US. So, and I
Oh,
know
wow.
there's a lot of entrepreneurs on there that does not do the healthy thing. So yeah, that is so exciting. That is awesome. I love that. Okay, so one last question for you. Well, more of a little
Yes.
bit of a statement. If you met somebody and this person is like, oh, I don't know if I want to become an entrepreneur, what is your advice for me to become an entrepreneur? What would you say to this person?
Well, part of it would be to ask them what their story is, because I believe everyone has a story at their core, something that motivates them.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, if it's something that drives them, then yes, I would certainly encourage them. I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, we get started late because there's that fear factor. But once we get started, it's like, I know for me personally, and for so many people I've mentored, it's like, why didn't I do this earlier? And it's because we're afraid. But when someone can sit down with you and listen to your story and help you see, like, you have a gift, a mission, and let's bring that into the world and share it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's about listening.
And do you recommend a mentor as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I will say there's lots of different levels of mentors. So, I currently have three mentors I'm working with for different things. Sometimes a mentor is, some kind of a teacher through a program that you're going through.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's someone who has just taken you under their wing for a little bit. Sometimes it's someone that you pay to work with. I will share that one of my mentors has shared that they invest six figures a year in mentoring. I'm not at that point, but even the people above, wherever we are, like, there's always something more. There's always something that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I love about working with a mentor and being a mentor is, there's that saying, rising tide lifts all boats. So, for example, if you work with me because you want me to mentor you, you're getting the benefit of all of the experience that I have, all of the conferences and the programs and the mentoring and everything that I've done. You get to shortcut that process.
That's true.
And and that's amazing.
Yeah.
And the people that I work with, they're there for those days when I'm like, I don't know, can I do this? Like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. They're like my biggest cheerleaders. And then when I have something where, like, I need to noodle this out, I need to figure this out, it's not making sense, and they just help me cut through and get to those answers. That's amazing. And so I really love the the process of helping people grow, because we're what's that, I think it was Isaac Newton who says, if I have gone far, it was because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And so, we're standing on each other's shoulders and reaching for the stars. And I love that.
That is a great quote. I know that quote. It's a great quote. It's one of my favorites, actually. Oh, that's awesome. And I really appreciate it. Mara, thank you so much. I absolutely love what you do. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of people that I know in my space that is, they don't do the healthy thing because their life have been taken over by entrepreneurship. I used to be that. But yes, so thank you so much. We will drop your links on the bottom of this podcast, and I hope that you would help as many people as I would want you to help.
Oh,
So
thank you.
fantastic. And thank you so much for your time, and I will talk to you soon.
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Bye.